Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Zoro Ordinary, aka Just Ordinary. I know my last video was about Mihawk, and I swear this is probably the last Mihawk video for a bit, but I just wanted to talk about the Cross Guild today. So the Cross Guild is probably the most unique crew and concept in the story. Not only is it because they specifically hunt down Marines and set bounties on them, but they also have the oddest crew dynamic in the series, which I'm not gonna lie, makes it really annoying to compare with the other crews within One Piece. But that's exactly what we're gonna be doing in this video. I want to see if this new concept of a Yonko crew can be comparable to the Strawhats. Being considered a crew of the caliber of the Strawhats is no small feat. While the strength of the crew does make up a large proportion of what makes the Strawhats so formidable, it's not the only driving force. We also have to consider the other elements that makes a Yonko crew, like bounty amounts, fleets, crew members, and territories. So as we all know, bounties in the series give characters and readers a rough estimate of how strong a character is, the threat level to the world government, and the influence they hold within the world. The Straw Hats, who have been declared a Yonko crew, have amassed a total of 8,816,001,000 berries, which is mostly made up from 5 members of the crew: Luffy, Zoro, Jinbei, Sanji. And so how does the Cross Guild stack up to the Straw Hats? Surprisingly, the Cross Guild have at least a bounty of 8,744,000,000 berries, making them very comparable to the Straw Hats. Which in a way isn't that surprising, because they are the first crew that we know of in the series with 2 characters having over 3 billion berries to their names in the same crew, Buggy and Mihawk. And just under them is Crocodile with a bounty of 1,965,000,000 berries, making him almost a 2 billion berry man. And you also got other members in the crew, bounties like Daz Bones and Alvida, and all the other random Buggy pirates and Alvida pirates. And to be honest, I feel like the Cross Guild would have a higher bounty count if we had the bounties of all the impelled down prisoners and escapees that joined Buggy's side. But for where we're at in the story right now, the crews are looking very comparable in bounty amounts. Next is territory and fleets, or you could say the total number of members within that alliance. The Straw Hats have a head start here because back in Dressrosa, they were able to form a fleet of 5,650 members. Even though it may seem like a large number of members, it barely stacks up to what Kaido had on Onigashima, who had nearly 30,000 members within his crew. And even that 30,000 doesn't even make up 1/3 of how many Marines were at Marineford. So how does the Cross Guild stack up here? The short answer is they do, but they don't at the same time. If we take into account Mihawk, Crocodile, the remnants of Baroque Works, the Alvida pirates, the Buggy pirates, the impelled down escapees, and the other random pirates picked up along the way, for the sake of the video, I'm going to say they have between 3,000 and 5,000 members in total, which is very comparable to that of the Straw Hats and their Grand Fleet. So Ordinary, how come you said they don't stack up? I said that because we haven't taken into account territory yet, and for the Straw Hats, that would be including Wano and Fishman Island, which would increase the amount of fighters they have available by a massive amount. Those 2 islands alone would surpass even that of Kaido's crew and possibly be close to how many soldiers the Marines have in total, while the only island we know of that is under control of the Cross Guild is the Empty Bluffs Island. But let's say if we use the Fishman Island and Wano Island armies, that's assuming they're gonna get involved in pirate affairs, which I really doubt, and I think they're just there for when the world government and the Straw Hats finally clash. So once again, for the sake of this video, I'm not going to include the armies of Wano and Fishman Island, which would then mean the numbers of each alliance / crew would be very comparable in terms of crews and numbers, but the Straw Hats beat out the Cross Guild because they have 3 islands to their name, while the Cross Guild only have 1. The last thing we're going to look at is how the top guys from each crew stack up against each other. Even though Buggy is top 1 in the verse, I'm not gonna lie, I'm going to pretend he is not the strongest member in the crew. I'm actually gonna give it to Mihawk to even out the playing field. So if the 2 strongest members from each crew, Mihawk and Luffy, were to fight in a 1v1, this is where the Cross Guild would take the upper hand. But as far as it goes, the Cross Guild loses in every single other department due to Zoro stomping out Crocodile and Sanji clapping Daz Bones and every other quote-unquote named character in the crew. To be honest though, all it would take is Luffy and Zoro to hold up Mihawk while Sanji and the rest of the crew take on Crocodile, and it's over. And yes, I said Zoro and Luffy holding up Mihawk. Mihawk is that strong. And this is due to the fact that the Cross Guild only has 1 Yonko level character, 1 second or maybe first commander level character, while everyone else is just beefed up fodder. Which means nothing when you're fighting Jinbei, Sanji, Robin, and the other crew members who are comparable to Yonko commanders, or at least strong enough to fight Toby Ropo level characters. Like, I'm just being honest, the front lines for the Cross Guild is weak. All you have is Mihawk, and Crocodile's there too. He's literally LeBron in 2015. You can maybe say Crocodile's Kyrie Irving, but even still that's a stretch. Mihawk literally has an average 30 points a game minimum for the Cross Guild to even compete with any Yonko crew. But honestly though, the numbers seem like the two crews are comparable, but they're really not, because we know bounties isn't just based off of strength. And we know that the Cross Guild don't even have up to a third commander level character. They don't have a front line. It's literally one guy. And their bench isn't looking too good either. Now they might have the strongest fodder in the series. I'll give them that, because a lot of their fodder is from Impel down. But other than that, they can't go toe to toe with the Strawhats or any Yonko crew right now. But that's exactly why we gotta bet on my main man, Mihawk, to single-handedly carry his team back to the finals. So let me know in the comment section down below how strong you think the Cross Guild is and how they stack up against the Strawhats and even other Yonko crews. Because right now, it's not looking good, but I have high hopes in the future. Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Peace out.